Cristobal era with their annual spring game tonight at 7:30. Reporters Ryan Marshall and Ryan Glacier are live at DraftKings Stadium to break down the team's Year 2 preview.
Plus, AOW turns to COW as Brandy Troop sits down with one of the brightest faces in Canes sports. Catch Coach L's thoughts on his favorite things and more.
And later on, a new cycling league hits the streets of Miami Beach. Hear how the league's Miami debut helped transform the fan experience. All that and more.
Sports Desk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
Hello and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm Daryl Barnes.
And I'm Charlie Hill. Canes baseball had a bit of a hard time against Virginia, but they made a comeback last night against the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Charlie, they were on fire last night, and they're hoping to carry that momentum into the rest of the series. Without a midweek game to make up for the UVA series, Canes baseball traveled to Chapel Hill to take on the 13th ranked Tar Heels. Let's take a look at the highlights from Game 1. Canes and Tar Heels, we're going to pick this up at the top of the third. Lorenzo Carrier, check this out. A monster solo bomb to, call that mid-left, center field, whatever. Canes go up 1-0, but now on top of the fourth, still top of the third. That one, Blake's here. He's going to get the double, RBI double. Canes now up 2-0, but UMC rallies back here. Now top of the fourth though, Ian Farrow, double, Dom Patelli brings it in, and Blake Sear over in the top of the sixth. Look at this. How about another one? Have a day, Blake Sear. That's his 8th home run on the season, and that's going to lead things to the top of the 9th inning. Canes, tied game right now, 4-4, and the bunt there by Dario Gomez. Jacoby Long scores. Canes go up 5-4, and really Andrew Walter slams the door shut in the 9th. His 3rd win of the season. Canes win 5-4 in this game.
Now, Canes baseball is at the halfway point of the season, and it's been an up and down season so far. The Hurricanes are on the outside looking in at hosting a regional, but what's going right and what's going wrong for Miami? Our Inside Pitch crew is here with the answers. Guys?
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Olivia Howell, here with analyst Cal Friedman. Cal, we're nearing the midway point of the season, and it has not been smooth sailing in any regard. So let's hear the Diamond diagnosis, starting with hitting.
Yeah, it's really been average so far this season for Miami. They lost some of their key hitters last year. Jacob Burke and Max Romero both drafted in the MLB draft, and Miami has not been able to replace them. Now, looking at the Hurricanes this season, they're 8th in the ACC, middle of the road in batting average, and they've had some major issues with runners in scoring position, leaving runners on in a loss at FAU, plenty of runners last weekend against Virginia, and for that reason, I can't give them any more than a C. It's just been average so far. It needs to get a little better, but it did look very good last night against the Tar Heels.
Yeah, for sure, Cal. The Canes' hitting has not been as strong as it needs to be, but their power is one thing that they are not lacking this season. What's their grade in that area?
It is a phenomenal grade, Olivia. They started the season hitting home runs, and they have not stopped, to the tune of 64 home runs across 33 games, and in 18 of them, they were able to homer at least twice. But the best thing is, it's been a balanced effort from Miami. You just saw Blake Sear with his 8th home run to lead the team. Carlos Perez also has 8, and right behind them, Ian Farrow and CJ Kafis each have 7. It's been a complete team effort. They're leading the ACC in home runs. For that reason, I've got to give it an A+. It's been dominant for Miami all season long, and they've shown no signs of slowing up.
Yeah, Cal, power definitely takes the highest grade on the report card, but other areas are less than average. Talk to me a little bit about the starting pitching.
Yeah, well, the starting pitching was the biggest concern for Miami going into this season, and it has remained that. There's been very big highs, and there's also been very low lows. But ultimately, the story is this. Sophomore Gage Zeal and junior Alejandro Rosario are only getting through about 4 2/3 in their starts. That's not going to cut it. That's why Miami has struggled on the road in ACC play, and that's why I got to give it a C-. They haven't had a good midweek starter either. It needs to get better.
Yeah, Cal, how about those relievers? How are they helping out those pitchers?
Well, as you saw last night, Miami's got two of the best relievers in the ACC. Alejandro Torres looks like one of the most improved players in the conference. And Andrew Walters, it's Andrew Walters. He does what he does best. But outside of that, it's been a mixed bag of production. The freshmen haven't stepped up as much as they were wanted to. And Ronaldo Guile, he was iffy at the first half of the year, but has started to put it together. But it's not good. It's not bad. I'm going to give it a C+.
Yeah, Cal, with all of that, let's hear the average grade for the Canes report card.
I'd say it's a B-. They're still contending for the Coastal, but they need to get it together soon. Otherwise, they're not going to host a regional.
All right, Cal, we'll see how the Canes do in the second half of their season, but that's all the time we have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Canes football has made several changes during the offseason, including a new defensive and new offensive coordinator. Wyatt Kopelman will tell you how these changes will affect the team in the upcoming season.
2022 was a year filled with learning for Mario Cristobal in his first year as Miami's head coach. And now both of last season's Hurricanes coordinators are coaching at other schools, while Cristobal hasn't wasted time building relationships with new ones this spring.
They have to be great leaders. They have to force the issue of culture, right? They have to make sure that it is implemented in everything we do on a daily basis, that our workouts look like we're there, that their player-led practices look as if it's coaches running it. We have to continue to take steps as a program.
For Miami's defense, Louisiana native Lance Guidry as the new defensive coordinator. And the former McNeese State defensive back has an All-American to help bring physicality to the field this season.
He brings a lot of energy, and he's a safeties coach too, so we kind of get that energy 24/7. And he's similar to Coach Adal. Like, he doesn't let us fall off at one point. Like, he always on you. He's like a fire right behind your butt, so you're always on your feet.
And from the other side of the Creole State, a new quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator in Shannon Dawson to lead a Miami offense with the 5th lowest scoring offense in the ACC last season.
He just lets the quarterback play with freedom. You just have fun out there with each other. You know, it's not just hardcore all the time. I mean, sometimes they get on you, but it's really about just having fun out there.
But without a structured system and accountability between the coordinators and their players, Cristobal says Miami will lack any sense of progress at the team's spring game tonight at Drive Pink Stadium.
We're going to play football. You know, we are. How exotic it'll be depends. You know, there's going to be some stuff that's a lot of fun and some other stuff you're going to hold back. We're going to play football. We're not going to hold an open scrimmage and spring game and not go out there and play ball. Our fans deserve that.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
And right now, Canes football is getting ready to take the field for their annual spring game tonight. Reporters Ryan Gleisler and Ryan Marshall are live at Drive Pink Stadium to fill us in. Guys?
Well, Daryl, we are here in the Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, where there's a bit of concern whether tonight's game would even happen because of that recent heavy rains and flooding in Fort Lauderdale. But they're ready to kick off soon here at 7:30. Team Orange versus Team Green. Ryan, let us know what's going to happen tonight on the offensive side.
Complete offensive recall, new offensive coordinator. It's the same quarterback, but you have a completely new, basically, O-line. And under the new offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson, who comes from Houston, he's known for his air raid system under Dana Holgerson, so expect a lot of throws downfield, and also with the O-line, expect lots of protection compared to last year. But how's the defense looking?
Well, defensively, Miami's looking to turn it around from last year where they struggled because they brought in a top 5 defensive coordinator, Lance Guidry from Marshall. And so they're going to bring in big names from transfers because that's Miami. That's what they do. They bring in big names. That's going to be all for us tonight here. Reporting live from the Drive Pink Stadium, I'm Ryan Marshall.
And I'm Ryan Glazier, sending back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, our Hurricane Hangtime crew plays a game of who will stay and who will go with Canes basketball, with a couple of huge departures on the men's and women's teams. We'll have all the details when we come back.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? fruit punch.
Canes basketball is celebrating its newest pro while still reacting to a shocking announcement from two of the women's biggest stars. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew is here to break it all down. Guys?
Thanks, Daryl, and welcome everybody to Hurricane Hangtime. I'm your host, Wrigley Court, joined by Jake Baum and Manny Nacarado. Let's talk hoops. Let's start off on the men's side of things. The offseason's in full swing, some big names leaving the program. Jake, who are some of those key players?
Well, the big name that comes to mind is going to be Jordan Miller, averaging 15 points per game this past season with the Canes and being such a vital part of their tournament run. And he's going to be declaring for the NBA draft after 5 seasons of college hoops. But a lot of other guys transferring. Of course, Harlan Beverly going to Wichita State. In addition to that, Favor Ire and Anthony Walker also entering the transfer portal.
Those players are leaving some literally big shoes to fill. But Jake, who are some players currently on the roster who could look to fill that void?
Well, look no further than Bensley Joseph, the 6th man of this team this past year, going to be a junior stepping into a very big role, filling Jordan Miller's shoes next year. In addition to that, everyone in the projected starting lineup for the next year will be at least a junior. So a lot of experience going to be in the starting lineup going forward.
Let's move it over to the women's side of things. Manny, some big names leaving the Lady Canes as well. Who are some of those players?
Well, Wrigley, call it luck, call it faith. I call it destiny, and that's right. Destiny Harden was drafted in the WNBA to the Phoenix Mercury. She had an amazing season with Miami with 12 points and 6 rebounds on the season, and she also was crowned ACC All-Second Team and cemented herself as a Miami legend. Also, another All-ACC second-team talent, Haley Cavender, is leaving the Canes. And don't be surprised if you see her and her sister in the WWE. They've been connected to the company for a long time, so don't be surprised if they're in the next WrestleMania.
Manny, I'll ask you the same thing I asked Jake. How can some players currently in the program replace some of that production?
Well, look no further than Jasmine Roberts to help out at that guard position. She had an amazing tournament. Katie Meyer's going to look to her to lead the team this year again. Also, Latasha Lattimore, she had a torn ACL early on in this year, but I think she's going to have an amazing 2024. She has that size and that length that Miami lacked at times this year.
It's a crucial offseason coming up for two programs looking to build on momentum from last year, but that is all the time we have, so let's send it back to Charlie at the desk.
Thanks, guys. A lot of fans are sad about these departures, but rumor has it Coach L hasn't stopped smiling since the Final Four. Brandy Troop chopped it up with Canes head coach Jim Larrañaga for this week's edition of Athlete of the Week, or should I say Coach of the Week.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. I am your host, Brandy Troop. Now usually I have an athlete sitting next to me, but today is a very special episode because I have a very special guest, Men's Hurricanes basketball head coach, Coach Larrañaga. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great, Brandy. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Coach. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to get right into things. I want to play a game called This or That. I'm going to name things from the sport of basketball as well as pop culture, and I want you to tell me which you prefer. I'm going to give you 45 seconds. Sound good?
Sure.
Let's do it. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Fine dining or home-cooked meal?
Home-cooked meal.
Larry Bird or Magic Johnson?
Larry Bird.
Suit or sweatsuit?
Oh, sweatsuit.
Elvis Presley or James Brown?
Elvis.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Popovich or Pat Riley?
Pat Riley.
New York City or Miami?
Oh, Miami.
Texting or FaceTime?
Texting.
Smoothie or milkshake?
Smoothie.
NBA playoffs or March Madness?
Oh, March Madness.
Titanic or The Notebook?
Titanic.
Steph Curry or Ray Allen?
Steph Curry.
Coach, they're wrapping me up, but I want to know so much more about you. We're going to keep it going. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Singing or dancing?
Dancing.
Godfather or Scarface?
Oh, Godfather.
Shoot like Curry or dunk like Vince Carter?
Both.
Oh, love it. That was great, Coach. Coach, you are an absolute talent as a head coach. You guys made history going to the Final Four. Were you fully present in that moment, or was it all a blur?
No, I was fully present. My thoughts are always one game at a time, one day at a time. Try to make every day a masterpiece.
Did you foresee this team going this far at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I try to visualize everything that could possibly happen and then try to direct my team to believe that they can be the best they can be and that we're going to win every game we play. Now, of course, we don't go undefeated, but we are a very confident group. This group in particular got off to a great start. First during the summertime, working out with each other, developing a great bond, and then throughout the season.
Coach, we were just so happy to bear witness to such a special moment. We got to bounce, but thank you so much for joining us. He's Coach Larinaga. I'm Brandy Troop. Be sure to tune into the next edition of Athlete of the Week.
Thanks, Brandy. And Miami fans are celebrating a lot this week with spring ball games, basketball seasons coming to a close, and one Cane heading to the WNBA. Niles Nassim is here to break it all down on this week's edition of Behind the Post.
Well, it's another day, another dollar, and don't I make you want to holler. Lock in with me, ladies and gents, because we are proceeding to give you what you need at the most electrifying segment on TV with me, Niles Nassim, your host with the most. So when you see me on screen, it's time to go behind the post. Hey, if you're missing the wonderful energy and allure of fall sports, well, I got two words for you: spring ball. This week, soccer, volleyball, and football all play spring games, giving fans a taste of what to expect next season. Every team looks stacked and jacked, especially our football team, and they're playing tonight at Dry Pink Stadium right after the show, so make sure you tune in to see the next wave of Canes talent. And hey, I heard TVD will be playing. And it's no secret that men's basketball had a phenomenal run in the NCAA tournament this season. This was the greatest season in program history, tied for the most wins, the highest end-of-season ranking, and shared an ACC championship. So that begs the question, is it too soon to be this confident? The preseason rankings, at least the early ones, are out now, and the lowest the Canes are ranked is 11, and the highest is 2. Most of the team will be returning, and transfers will be coming, so I can get behind those numbers. Canes Hoops, thank you for the phenomenal season. You've given us every reason to keep believing. And finally, congrats to Canes women hoop star Destiny Harden for being drafted to the Phoenix Mercury. Harden was selected with the 27th pick in the 3rd round, and we are so proud of you, Destiny. We can't wait to see you elevate yourself at the next level. Oh, and I'm getting some news. Well, I just heard the Cabinet twins will not be picking up their 5th year of eligibility and will not be returning to school next year. So Haley, remember I asked you out early this season? Let's hurry up, babe, because we ain't got enough time, okay? So please come back to me. I would love to see you, okay? But that's all the time I have this week. Remember, be blessed. I'm stressed, but you will still find me here every Friday on SportsDesk. Haley, come back.
So sorry for your loss, Niles, but up next, a new sports league makes its debut right here in Miami. But first, it's time for some trivia. Freshman Blake Sear launched his 8th career home run at last night's win at North Carolina. But what is the single-season freshman home run record at Miami? Is it A, 25, B, 24, C, 23, or D, 22? Stay tuned for the answer when SportsDesk returns.
Sometimes we can do things that exclude others.
You're still talking to your friend? It's complicated.
I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Even the smallest words and actions can have a big effect on someone. You have the skills. Because of you, someone's entire day, their year, or their life can change.
Remember, the future is in your hands.
Visit becauseofyou.org to learn more.
Totally, let's do it.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, good. How about you?
Hey, where's your blue?
Good. I don't know. You guys didn't get me the memo.
So sorry. We'll add you to the group chat.
Okay, please
Next
do.
time.
For sure.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs. They come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
Welcome back. If you guessed A, you are correct. Back in 1982, Phil Lane hit 25 home runs in his freshman campaign at the U. In fact, it's also the record for the most home runs by any player in a single season in Hurricane history.
And from sweeping the weekly awards to swinging for a conference title, Michael Muella and Taryn Jacobs are here to break down all the details in this week's edition of O Sports Roundup. Guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the 9th edition of the O Sports Roundup for the spring semester. I'm Michael Muella.
And I'm Tyreek Jacobs. Mike, what's going on in the world of track and field?
Well, Taryn, I'm glad you asked. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Decio Andrade is special. Earlier in the season, he continued to break records week after week in the hammer throw, and this week, he's done it again. 73.01 meters this time, setting him a new program record. He continues to have his dominant season going strong. And speaking of dominance, how about ACC Performer of the Week awards being swept by this Miami roster, including Russell Robinson, Sincere Rea, Ashley Moore, and Sanaa Habron. They look to continue their strong seasons, as well as Daphne Lavassis, who set a new program record in the women's 10K run last night. And now both teams are respectively ranked in the top 25 of their polls. Canes Volleyball has their final exhibition of the spring semester tomorrow morning against FAU. And Canes Swim and Dive Max Flory took home ACC Diver of the Year, and Coach Randy Abelman, ACC Coach of the Year for the 6th time. But Taryn, how are things swinging towards the course?
Yeah, Mike, well, the tennis teams are rolling. The men's tennis team swept Louisville 7-0 last weekend, and they'll finish the regular season undefeated at home. But they're not done yet. They're in North Carolina this weekend for 2 top 20 matchups against UNC and Duke. And over onto the women's side, they picked up a huge win last weekend against Notre Dame, rising to number 13 in the rankings. And congratulations to freshman Mia Mack, who received ACC Freshman of the Week for the 4th time this season, making her the 2nd player this year to win this award more than 2 times. The Canes are on the road to play Clemson and Georgia Tech this weekend, and good luck to both of the tennis teams next week as they will begin play in the ACC Championship. And over to golf, good luck to them this weekend for the ACC Championships in North Carolina.
Taryn, always a pleasure, but that's going to do it for us. Let's send it back to the desk.
Last weekend, the National Cycling League had its first race on Miami Beach. Reporter Ryan Marshall has the details.
100 professional cyclists hit Ocean Drive to compete in a brand new league. The National Cycling League, also known as the NCL, hosted their first ever race, the Miami Beach Invitational. The NCL is the first professional cycling league in the world that focuses on the fan experience.
So we're trying to formalize it just like any other professional sports league to make it followable, to make it accessible to fans.
On race day, fans got the chance to ride on the same course as the pros, watch a BMX bike showcase, and enjoy a fan zone that had food and drinks, but most importantly, a prime view of the finish line.
So the idea is when we come into town, not just have a bike race, but really activate the community around health and wellness and cycling. You know, there are hundreds of thousands of cyclists right here in South Florida, and so we want to give them an ability to cheer.
Cyclists completed 25 laps between Ocean Drive and Washington Avenue, a 1-mile loop that passes through some of Miami Beach's most popular tourist destinations. And the NCL uses a unique scoring system that is different from traditional cycling. Cyclists can win points for their teams after each lap, and the league also tries to create greater gender equality by requiring each team to have 6 men and 6 women.
It's a points race, so every lap has points, and it's a cumulative score between both the men and the women, so that it should be equal value of the women's team and the men's team.
The league may be young, but it is already making history. The NCL is the first American sports league where both women and minorities make up the majority of team owners.
You know, these generations of black and brown, you know, boys and athletes and women have grown up saying, I want to be professional athletes, but they haven't been able to say, I want to be an owner, because there aren't really any owners that look like them. So we're really trying to change that narrative and inspire the next generation.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Marshall.
And still ahead, local youth football players got the chance to learn from an NFL star wideout this past weekend. See how it all went down at Tropical Park when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Kevin.
You thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
My new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow and use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action. Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Saturday was all about the kids when Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill hosted his first Miami Youth Camp at Tropical Park. Ethan Gainey has more.
Over 100 kids came to Tropical Park for a football camp on Saturday, April 8th, more excited than they've ever been to practice. That's because it was none other than star NFL wide receiver Tyreek Hill's youth camp.
Came with my boy Mel, had to get some work in with Tyreek. Came, just have fun.
The fun started with a Q&A session led by the kids, and then after some pictures, the drills began. From speed to catching to footwork, Tyreek made his way to each and every drill.
It's just fun to see him out here actually interacting with all the kids. That's nice of him.
Just to see that, you know, again, a Dolphin player coming out and giving what he knows, his secrets to kids here in Miami, I think that's very special, and I hold that near and dear to my heart.
There were plenty of other coaches from Tyreek's Soul Runner Speed Academy working with the kids as well and giving them important pointers.
You got to teach them, like, you know, always pay attention to details because details matter. You got to work harder than the guy in front of you, and you got to work harder than the guy behind you.
For Tyreek and co, this is just the beginning. 10 more camps are scheduled this summer around the country, something Tyreek's looking forward to.
Just being able to do something that, you know, I feel like every NFL player want to do, you know, because not a lot of us can just say, hey, I get a chance to travel the world and just inspire the youth. So here I am doing it, baby.
Just coming from the poverty-stricken area that we come from to see him now on that big stage and him consistently giving back to the youth repeatedly, it means the world. You know, a lot of people, they talk about it, but he's actually truly about it.
When the Tropical Park camp came to a close, Tyreek stayed an hour late to sign autographs. An extra hour for Tyreek, worth a lifetime to these kids. In Miami, Florida, Ethan Gainey, UMTV.
Thanks, Ethan. And it's the moment Miami Marlins fans have waited 4,700 games for. The team came into Tuesday's matchup with the Phillies as the only team in the MLB history to never have a player hit for the cycle. Let's check out how Luis Arias changed that in just his first year in Miami. First inning, and look at this. Arias, he's going to start it off with a double to right center over in the first inning here. Okay, just a normal start to the game. But things get interesting when we move on to the sixth. Right here, he's going to smack a triple down right field line. The relay throw coming in from Nick Castellanos almost beats Arias at third, but Arias sneaks into the bag right there, safe for the third. Now on to the seventh inning. Oppo Taco to left field to give the Marlins a 2-run lead here in the top of the seventh. Now he just needs a single. That's all it is. It's all it is. And there he gets it. He completes the cycle. This is the first in Marlins history. It took the Finns more than 30 years, 4,700 games. Took Arias 12 games in a Miami Marlins uniform. That's good for your play of the day.
Well, history was made at Lone Depot Park this week, but dreams came true last night in the Shalala Student Center. UM students had a Q&A with one Miami Heat legend last night at a student government event called What Matters to You. Last night, NBA Hall of Famer Chris Bosh popped out to the Shalala ballrooms to speak with students. With graduation less than a month away, the 11-time All-Star came with a message for seniors. Look back, but keep moving forward. Bosh said he loves talking about the big three Miami Heat teams, but doesn't let himself get too caught up in the past. Bosh spoke about focusing on entrepreneurship and being a father and encouraged graduating seniors to look forward to their next chapters.
How wholesome.
That's
How wholesome. But
adorable.
That's all the time we have for this week, so thank you guys for tuning in to Sports Desk.
We'll see you again at the same time next week. Have a great night.